Blizzard just teased what they would like to do for a 6th class in Diablo 4.
It has to be a
very
paladin.
vague tease, but it's definitely headed in the right direction.
It needs to be a paladin.
I honestly think a lot of you guys are going to love this. Also, how many expansions is Diablo 4 actually getting post-launch? Well, thanks to
Probably
a recent
2.
interview with Blizzard, we have a very good idea on what to expect from expansions at the bare minimum. And mentioning teases, by the way, what in the world was Rod Ferguson teasing yesterday? Well, it's been fully revealed, and it's definitely not what you think. I'm glad I told you guys to check your hype levels on that one. Plus, they did say to anticipate problems with this feature when it is finally launched in the game. Looks like some things will have to be fine-tuned as they are launched throughout seasons and the like.
Okay.
And this news about PvP might actually upset some of you. I'm curious your take on this one, so we'll dive into that as well. But yeah, gotta talk about the elephant in the room, the lack of a secret cow level. No one has mentioned it. You know, there's been tons of reviewers, critics that have already played through the entire game. No discovery about a secret cow level. Well, the community came up with a solution, a secret chicken level.
And it would be perfect. That's the thing. Is that if they did this, this would be fucking insane. Like, I'm sold. I'm there, man. I'm totally there. Because, like, it's not only cow levels, right? Because in Diablo 3, it wasn't a cow level. It was the Whimsy Shire with, like, those stupid fucking unicorns and shit.
Hey, it only makes sense considering that Blizzard is working with KFC on you know, promotions and things. So, yeah, make it happen, Blizzard. Make it happen.
That would be
All right,
so
we got to
fucking
talk
funny.
about what's going on officially. So let's go to Twitter. Yes, Rod Ferguson was busy, of course, tweeting out and teasing stuff. You guys may remember this. I told you I would keep an eye on it, but I also warned you, make sure you keep your hype levels in check.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what this turned out to be was this right here, a music video featuring...
Somebody says not very relatable outside the USA. Wait. I thought that actually KFC was more popular outside of the USA than it was in the USA. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not even true. In like some places, like it's huge in Japan. Yeah, there you go. KFC's all over EU. Yeah.
Talent from the music
KFC's
industry.
huge in China. Yeah.
They're going all in on marketing, trying to basically get more eyeballs on Diablo 4, especially those that don't even know what Diablo is. That's what this is about. Marketing 101. Let me tell you what, they are spending a pretty penny on marketing this game. I guess it's like half the battle. All right, so next up, we have, of course, that official interview. Check it out right here. Rod's XCast interview. And that is coming from, of course, Kinda Funny Games, as you can see right here. Rod Ferguson with them. And they did actually talk about some very interesting things, of course. Let's break it down, shall we? Okay. Also, a very special thank you to Aryan Historian for posting that out on Reddit with a complete breakdown, but let's go ahead and go over it right now. So, yes, first and foremost, goes on to say this. They talk about critic scores, 88 Metacritic score of 89 out of 90 open critic.
Who the fuck makes a score out of 90? Just make it out of 100. What the hell?
Rod is very happy about that. They say live service allows for more content in seasons compared to Diablo 3, deeper, richer, and more content over the previous Diablo. That is exciting. But guess what? At minimum, it seems like we are getting 2 big expansions that are already in the works. They're really trying to keep the flow of content going throughout the life of this game, which gets me excited because already you can clearly tell the game is very beefy at launch. They have a complete in-game in the vanilla version of the game itself.
Which is
yeah,
good.
Let's keep going. I was on to say this. Reiterates their ability to respond to games requests within hours and days. An example of that was the Necro hotfix for...
See, like, that actually is one of the big things that makes me really confident about the game, is the fact that they were able to fix that shit so fast. Because a lot of times, like, this is a problem that, like, Blizzard has with WoW, or it used to have at least, is that, like, there would be something wrong with the game, and Blizzard would be like, oh my god. Oh my god, can somebody write that down? We gotta fix that whenever the next expansion comes out. Like, we can't have it just be bugged out like that forever. So whenever this new expansion comes out after this, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get it taken care of. And that's about it, right? And then by the time they fix it, then something else is broken. So yeah, like I was actually really happy to see them fix it so fast. Brosman, thanks for your gifted subs, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
hotfix for the Skellies. This, for me personally, gets me excited because if they run into any huge exploits, they can immediately fine-tune things. Of course, again, the worry here is they fine-tune things too often, where you don't even know what you're doing with your build. I think they're going to have to be a little bit cautious about that, but I also think they know that as well. All right, furthermore, it says this.
I hope they don't just like do constant like every week hotfixes. That way you constantly have to like keep up with like what the new hotfixes are and what's been changed. Like I think that like every season they should do a lot of changes to make different things good and other things not as good, so people don't just play the same build every single time. But like in terms of doing that inside of the league, that kind of sucks.
Sustainability in development and the importance of correct team structure that allows for sustainable development cycles and building things in parallel. Doesn't want to burn out the team and then churn out a mediocre product. So we've heard rumors that
well, that sounds good. You don't want to burn out the team and churn out mediocre product. That would be fucking great if we don't have that happen.
Before this, like years ago, was very burned out. I'm hoping that these companies really tap into, you know, a way to really listen to their developers. CD Projekt Red had this problem. They've done a lot of fine-tuning to really try to help out because these are talented people. It's tough to find this type of talent to craft this type of game. It's pretty rare. All right, so let's go on and talk about this one right here. It says, talks Blizzard deadlines and how Diablo is approaching Blizzard's normal timelines. That's how they came up with the quarterly seasons. Talks about how they tried to make seasons long enough for casuals to complete the battle pass. So they're trying to cater to two audiences here, a hardcore audience, of course, but they're like, you know, we also know that people are going to be playing.
Diablo is mainly, I mean, like, Diablo is an ARPG for more casual players, where, like, PoE is an ARPG for very hardcore players, and it seems like Last Epoch is kind of in the middle there. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's fine. Yeah, and it doesn't mean the game's bad either. It's okay.
Our game are probably working at school, studying, what have you, and are busy with their lives. How do we appease to both? So I think personally they're doing a great job at that. Seems like they're in an interesting middle ground here. And not gonna lie, this next one does have me a little bit worried. Goes on to say this: expect hiccups with the cosmetic shop as it launches.
So like there's a hiccup where like you buy an item and it doesn't work, so like I guess you have to buy it 2 times? Yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. You're gonna have to, maybe you have to buy an item like 2 times. It's like, you know, because you have like maybe like 3, 5 times, for sure. Yeah.
It wasn't in a state ready to be used in the beta or server slam. That's interesting. We'll see what actually happens with this shop. I know already a lot of the prices on the shop are just crazy, ridiculous, like $25 for...
I gotta say it again because people say this every time. I could give less of a fuck how much this stuff is on the shop. It could be $250. I would not care. And it wouldn't matter. And do you want to know why? It's not because I've got a lot of money and I can afford it. It's because I never spend the money in the first place. Who gives a fuck? It's a shop item. If you want to buy something to look fancy and cute in the game, go on ahead. But like, to me, it just doesn't have that same value. It doesn't matter that much. Yeah, I mean, it's just... I really just don't give a fuck. Unless it's pay to win, who cares? Yeah, it's just... Like, I want to have gear and, like, items that either make me look really, really cool, which, like, there's enough in-game items that feel that way anyway, or I want to have something that is, like, really prestigious. So, like, an armor set that's, like, looks good. So, like, I don't really give a fuck if, like, the cosmetics are expensive, because I'm not going to buy them anyway. It's like, I played Fortnite ever since, like, 2018. I don't even have a skin in Fortnite. Who cares?
One skin for one Necromancer skin was like an example. But I'm kind of curious here. I'm not going to say anything until we actually see it.
Just
have so much stuff to
like
say,
a year ago.
But let's keep going, shall we? So, next up we have this right here. PvP is a murder fest. You don't have to play PvP if you don't like it. There is PvE in the PvP zones, but you can always get ganked you can get cosmetic, achievements through the PvP zones, but again, 100% optional. Now, that might ruffle some feathers, of course, simply because a lot of you guys, I know for a fact, want to be able to have all the cosmetic items, and if you're wanting to do PvE only, and there's like unique...
Nah, bro, like, that's some bullshit. Like, it's not a big deal if you can get a cosmetic from PvP. Who cares? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, it's just like, oh, who gives a fuck? Like, just give them a few nice things. You get a few cosmetics for PvPers. Is this really going to ruin somebody's life? No, it's not. It doesn't matter.
Specific cosmetic
about
items
some
to
dumb
the
shit.
PvP zone. Ooh boy, I don't know. I feel like that might ruffle some feathers for sure, especially if these cosmetic items end up being absolutely amazing and crazy looking. Then you're going to be like, why do I have to play PvP? I don't want to have to play PvP to get these cosmetic items. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a concern as well.
I think that's so silly, man. That is so silly. Like, if you want to play different types, if you want to, like, I'm not saying that, like, every cool item should be locked behind PvP. And if every cool item was locked behind PvP, that would suck. But, like, that's not what's happening. There's a few other things that you can get from PvP. I think that's cool. Who the fuck cares?
We'll see how that pans out, but it seems like, of course, there is going to be a wide variety of option on how to get different cosmetics. Just like
somebody says, you rather pay money than to get good, bro. I'm gonna be real. Like, anything, like, it's a cosmetic, okay? So, like, cosmetics that denote skill, like a gladiator mount or whatever, they don't matter to me if I don't play that game or I don't care about that type of gameplay. Like, I can appreciate it, sure, good job, man. But, like, it doesn't really matter. So, like, because somebody has a PvP cosmetic, I'm not, like, I don't care. Like, I don't do PvP. So, like, good for them. I'm happy for them. Yeah, it's nuts, man. PvP should have great cosmetics. Yeah, they should have good cosmetics for PvP. Absolutely. Yeah. God damn.
Let's see if the PvP zones have the absolute best looking cosmetic items for it.
But I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to say it. Don't care about cosmetics. Do I throw a fit on mounts of WoW, not skins in Diablo? Now, I'll have to tell you guys, you can do a gotcha moment like that, and I will respond to it, but it will cost you your account. You'll get permabanned. So just keep that in mind. If you want to do a gotcha moment like that, it costs you your account. Let me explain the difference. Diablo 4 is buy to play. World of Warcraft is not. It's a subscription-based game. I think that with the addition of a subscription, you should not have to expect to have microtransactions as well. I think it's double dipping. So because Diablo 4 is continuously developed and it does not have a recurring fee, I am more okay with cosmetics in Diablo 4 than I am in World of Warcraft. That's the reason. It's completely logical. But yes, again, the gotcha questions like that do cost you your account.
Next up, we have rune words is something they think is interesting, but it's so deep they haven't figured out how to put it in the game yet. When they say this sort of thing, it makes me think that that sort of feature would most likely come with a season as an experiment, just to see how it might work out. And if people hate it, they won't include it in the game in the long term. And if people love it, they would probably bring it back. Or they might want to throw it into one of the expansions because it sounds like a very big undertaking to include something like that. They don't want to mess up the flow of what they've currently built.
Sure.
Next up, we have this one. Class he would like to see in the future. Refuse to answer, LOL. Likes the 5 classes currently and would love to create a class Diablo has never seen before.
I feel like we need to have a holy damage character. How is this even a question? What the fuck are we talking about? We have a rate, like we have every single other archetype. We have the mage archetype, we have the archer archetype, we have the rogue archetype, like the dagger archetype, we have the barbarian archetype, we have the druid archetype, we have the necromancer archetype. The only one that we don't have is a fucking paladin or a crusader or a cleric or something like that. I don't get it. Like, I think paladin is like, it's one of the most like iconic classes in a in an RPG. How do you not have a paladin at all? That's so weird. I think they should. I don't think they should bring back Crusader because they just had Crusader. I think they should do Paladin. What about Monk? I'd like to see Paladin more.
Love it. So it sounds like that's the direction they're heading in when it comes to new classes. I hope that's the case for the 6th class. We'll have to wait and see, but it would be really, really cool to see something extremely fresh, new. You know, I've seen your comments from my previous videos, and overall, you guys would love a brand new, fresh class because, yes, nostalgia is great, of course. Would love to see some stuff like the Paladin return.
Yeah, that's what I
one
want.
thing that, man, that'd be cool. As well as the Monk. I personally really like the Monk. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I hate the Monk.
I was not a fan.
But yeah, it would be cool if they did something completely unknown. Surprise us. That's what I really, really want from the next class. All right, so we got to talk about some invaluable tips that were posted by Wowhead. You guys have got to check these out before you actually play. Let's get into those right now, shall we? So, check it out. Let's talk about the campaign and open world progression. It says, well, we're all excited about the campaign and storyline of Diablo 4. The real meat of the game is the end game. Absorbing the story while making your way through the campaign quickly is key. Now, it says many systems such as mounts, renown, altars of Lilith are count-wide unlocks, making them key systems to interact with for anyone looking to play alts. That's extremely important to remember right there. Yeah, but then it goes on to say this: make sure your party's campaign progress is in sync. If you don't receive quest rewards for quests you've never done, you're out of sync. Having the party leader be the player with the least progression in the campaign can fix this, the more you know. Now, sellers and events are actually worth your time. They have a high chance of dropping rare loot.
Oh, yeah, you should always do sellers and events. You get obolos, you get gems, and it also gives you experience. It's literally what it says there. But, like, I learned the same thing from playing the game. Yeah, all that makes sense, especially since
remember,
they buff sellers
big time for the server slam, and they were definitely worth going into. So don't miss out on actually heading into sellers, because they've actually kind of included some dungeon-type events in there as well. Yeah, check them out. Next up,
I still think they can make sellers way more interesting. Like, have like a 1% chance, like whenever you enter a cellar, it's like a massive fucking thing. Like, it's a whole different dungeon.
This one right here. Entering a new region, by the way, change the location of your town portal. You can quickly make it to the zone's major town this way before
or it's just a butcher there
are unlocked.
Waiting for you.
So that's really cool. So, of course, we only got to explore the Fractured Peaks location and have that center town portal, of course. So each region is going to have that same kind of system. So once you cross the border, it's going to switch over to teleporting you to that town center within that specific region.
Sure, that makes sense.
Right. So furthermore, it says this: claim your renown rewards. Don't forget to do this. It's easy to forget for some reason. Doing almost anything in a zone earns renown, and this earns you skill and Paragon points, crucial to the leveling process. So yes, I don't think some people realize that renown can actually get you more Paragon points. So the more you know, really pay attention to your renown. There's many ways you can actually earn renown. One of the biggest ways, of course, is clearing strongholds, going into dungeons, as well as clearing
I think I'll try to clear some of the strongholds while I'm leveling. Like, I'm just going to do what's convenient. Like, I don't want to try to go and, like, fucking make... This is not an MLG. I'm not trying to do trick shots, okay? I'm just trying to play the game.
And mainly doing side activity. In fact, what I would do is if you enter a new town and you see a bunch of blue exclamation points, those are your side quests that you can tackle. Accept every single one of them before going on your main quest line, because you're going to accidentally be running into those side quests as you explore. I highly recommend doing that. Just going and grabbing every single quest before exploring, going to a new dungeon or what have you. It's definitely worth it. You'll be earning renown everywhere accidentally.
Level 10. Wow.
I have to highlight this tip. It is so important. It's so simple. It's in your options menu. Turn on advanced tooltip information and advanced tooltip compare. This is going to help you a lot understand if your aspect that you actually have right now is at its minimum value or its maximum, and you could really find out how good your aspects actually are. That is super important. So whatever you do, I highly recommend turning that on no matter what. All right, so yes, I did a recent video called this one right here. Here it is, the day one update, new patch changes for Necromancer, Druid, and much more. check out the video if you want to find out what is changing with the day 1 patch, which, by the way, if you preloaded the game already, you've already downloaded the day 1 patch, but there are some really noteworthy changes in that video, so check it out. But let's see what you guys had to say about it. Let's get into it. So, Couch Guy Yin says this: hopeful when the Necro summons Golem, he also has the Ring of Power with him. I would love...
No, bro, like, the Necro doesn't summon anything because Blizzard borked Necros, and the only good builds for Necromancers are the ones without minions. So the difference between a Necromancer and a Sorcerer is the Necromancer moves slower and does less damage. Very fun.
This. I would love to name my Golem also Smeagol. Make it happen. See what Blizzard can do for us. And Philip says this right here: happy to see some more news. I'm going in semi-blind to my build since I played a bit during the beta and Server Slam. I have somewhat of an idea what I think might work. It seems like a bunch of you are also going to be doing this. It's fine if you want to read up on build guides and kind of like and kind of figure out what you want to do as you go through the skill tree. That's fine. But I think a lot of us just want to like explore ourselves, you know, explore the open world ourselves, explore the skill tree ourselves, figure it out. You know, there's something exciting about that, seeing stuff for the first time, like the Paragon board, and getting into it yourself. And yes, some of us might make mistakes, but that's what it's kind of about, you know, learning from the whole process.
That's the game.
I'm excited. I'm hyped for it.
What's wrong with that?
Let's keep going. Vincent says this: when I play, I would like to focus on playing the game and the story. During the beta, I had to stop and read all the skills, all the gear, etc. I used build planning as a way to familiarize myself with all the things and give me a rough outline of the path I'm probably going to take, so I could spend less time reading mechanics and more time playing the game. So there is a different side of the coin. That actually makes a lot of sense when you say it in that way, where you can actually be more knowledgeable before you even head into the game. So you can sit back, relax, and actually enjoy and embrace the story, enjoy the world. Dude, that makes a lot of sense as well. I love that take.
I don't know why. Like, there's always this conversation about, like, is it a good idea to look shit up ahead of time? Holy fuck. Do it if you want to do it. Don't do it if you don't want to do it. I'm so fucking sick of hearing about this. Jesus.
That's definitely an interesting take for sure. But let me know which side of the fence you're on, if you're going in semi-blind, if you're going in completely blind to this one, or if you have your build already fully planned out. All right, so there it is. The latest happenings around
the only one that's inferior is doing the one that you don't want to do because people say you should be doing it. That's the only one. That's the only type of gameplay that's inferior. What do you think about charging $70 for a game, having an endgame store, which means all the good cosmetics will be stripped from the game you buy, but behind a paywall? Battle Pass is somewhat okay, but what do you think? Well, you're not asking what we think. You're asking people to agree with you. Number two, it's objectively not true that all of the good cosmetics are in the store. Like, it just is like an objectively untrue statement because I played the game. It's just not true. So, like, what are you doing?
Diablo 4, stay tuned for more updates. It is mere hours away from the launch of the game. I'm so hyped. So yes, I cannot wait. Have everything prepared over here. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.
All right, I think that's pretty fair. Again, like the PvP stuff, I don't think people really give a fuck about that all that much. PvPers and ARPGs, I'm sure there's dozens of them, but overall it's not really a community that's worth appealing to or making content for or anything like that. And Agenda Andy is a nice place. Yeah, I think it was an alright question. It's not an alright question whenever it's a leading question. He clearly has a fucking agenda. He typed it out 7 times. It was fucking annoying. I finally read it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to finally just read this piece of shit's message and then I can move past it. You know? Like, that's it. Because I didn't want to ban him. Objection leading. Yep, it was. It's a leading question. It was the premise is not even true. Like, I have no problem. Guys, please, please, please believe me when I say I will shit on this game so hard when it does something wrong. And I did. I got so much shit from the Diablo 4 subreddit whenever I said that skeleton minions were bad. Because a bunch of fucking 35-year-old gray-bearded boomers over there went and told me, oh, no, they're really good. Just play on World Tier 1. Wow, why didn't I think of that? So, look, I'm gonna be getting shit on for every opinion. That's it. I get it. I know. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because I was right, and that's why they changed the game in the way that I wanted them to. Yeah, it's been in facts until the facts change. Exactly, man. Yep, that's what it was. They're still nerfed? They are. Again, I don't know how bad or good they are. I never got a chance to play it after the Server Slam event, so I don't know what state they're in. So we'll see what happens. Crypt posted a Necromancer summon build. I know he did, but somebody else said that it wasn't tested against endgame, so it's very hard to tell whether it's actually going to be good or not. So that's where I'm at. Do cosmetics matter in a top-down game? Cosmetics, of course they matter. Cosmetics absolutely matter. They are so important. We love cosmetics. However, they're not the only thing that matters.